Hi, I'm here today with Marvel Midnight Suns, and this game is pretty cool. So I want to show you a little bit of the different gameplay items that are in there. They kept it pretty simple, this game. You can play with all the Marvel characters that you know and love, but it centers around the Midnight Suns, which is a new group of people, with some you might know, like Blade is pretty well known, for example, and some are in the X-Men as well. So, and then there's Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider, in a little bit of a different form. So a lot of these you will already know, but you can also play with the exceptionally well-known Avengers that are in there. So let's continue here. I've played this quite a bit, but the cool thing here is in this game you can really focus on just the story and play this through in not that much time, but there's also a lot of things that are going on around there. So you can do a lot of extra missions in there, but you don't have to. And it's got quite a unique level up system. So the enemies also get better once you level up. So that means if you don't do all the side missions, you're still good enough to defeat all of the enemies in the game. And then once you unlock different levels, you can also set the game in a higher difficulty mode. So it's more that you unlock more difficulty than that you'd have to level up to really complete the game. So this really allows you to do, well, as much of the backstory and as much of the extra missions as you want, or as little. Then you have, this is the Abbey, and you have all these grounds that you can explore, but you really don't have to. You can just keep that to the side and then focus on the missions if you want to. So I think that's a unique way of looking at a game like this. It's a card game, so the action is with cards, and then you can, well, choose how many of the backstory you want. You have all these characters here walking around in this area in your home base. You can talk to them a lot. You can ask them all of these different questions, and you can learn a lot about the backstory of them and of the game. But again, you don't have to if you don't want to. So I think that's a nice way of looking at it. So let's look at a little bit of the gameplay here, because that's the most important thing, of course. The gameplay, this uses cards. I think it's based on the card game of Midnight Suns that's also available. And then you have these different story missions. So let's see. So this is a story mission. And then you have to research the symbiote sampler in this case, because you have to defeat Venom there. So that's pretty cool. And then you have these little side missions that you can go into. Then you have these missions that you don't do, but you can assign heroes to do. So that's pretty cool. And then let's start one of these up. Then you can select your heroes. These are the heroes that I've gathered so far. And you can get more and more heroes. And some of the story missions require one specific hero here. This is your main character, so I always take that with me. And then you can upgrade the cards that they have by gaining more experience and stuff like that. So you have these different characters that you can choose and take with you. And let's see how that battle works. So you have one battlefield in the center. So once that's loaded, we can take a look at that. And it's completely turn-based. So you have your turn, and then the enemy has their turn, and you can play different cards, have different upgrades there, based on how well liked you are. So you can make friends with your colleagues, and really put some extra effort in that to talk to them and make friends with them. Then they get a little stronger. But again, you don't have to do that. But it's nice to see how they interact. And I think the graphics are really, really cool here. So I've turned down the volume so I don't get any copyright strikes or anything. But these are the different cards that you can use here at the bottom. You have different cards from different characters, but you always have 3 card plays. You can unlock more card plays if you play specific cards. You can always redraw 2 cards, and you have 1 move on the battlefield, so you can move around freely. And you can also use that move to punch an enemy once you unlock that in your research. And then it doesn't really matter which hero you choose. You can choose 3 cards from one hero or 1 from each, and they each have their own specialties. So this is a quick punch. This uses quick, and that means if you knock out an opponent with one quick punch, and there are minions on there that are not as strong, and here was shield guy, which is a little bit stronger. But if you use a quick attack on a minion and you immediately defeat that, you get that card play back. So card play refunded, and now I still have 3 card plays in there. So I can choose different things. So with this one, I get another heroic card, and heroic cards use heroism. You can use heroism to move around objects. For example, I can throw this little box at this enemy using 1 heroism point. So you really have to be careful what type of cards you play, what type of cards you add to your deck, how you use your heroism points to defeat as many enemies in a short amount of time. And then let's attack this heavy enemy here. This heavy enemy has a little bit of a shield, which you have to break down first before you can hit their lifespan. So you can also have shield here that, as you can see, I have 16 shield now. So that will, when you're hit, that will be drained first before your life points. Then you have things like taunt, where you taunt an enemy to attack you instead of the others. You have counter, all that sort of thing, where you hit an enemy back once he hits you. So there's really very cool different elements here. So using this card style, you can take as long as you like to analyze the battlefield and think of your plan of attack. You have knockback, so that's pretty cool. So this shield guy, you can't knock it back, but I can knock back him and then knock him into the power there. And then he's stunned, so you have stun, you have all these different status ailments, which makes the game really, really cool and replayable as well. So very nice, and I really recommend this game for anyone who is a Marvel fan, and even not Marvel fans will enjoy this card-based game.